Jerusalem/Gaza, Palestinian protests have erupted in the occupied West Bank and the Gaza Strip following the United States' recognition of Jerusalem as Israel's capital, as Hamas urges Palestinians to abandon peace efforts and launch a new uprising against Israel. U.S. officials, however, appeared to remain hopeful an Israel-Palestinian settlement could be negotiated after a cooling-off period. 17 people were wounded by Israeli army gunfire in the West Bank cities of Hebron and Al-Baret, and thousands of demonstrators rallied with chants of Jerusalem is the capital of the state of Palestine. Some protesters threw rocks at soldiers and others chanted, "Death to America! Death to the fool Trump!" At least 31 people were wounded by Israeli gunfire and rubber bullets, according to medics. A military spokeswoman said soldiers had used riot dispersal gear against hundreds of rock throwers. In the Gaza Strip, dozens of protesters gathered near the border fence with Israel and threw rocks at soldiers on the other side. 2 protesters were wounded by live fire, one was in a critical condition. Get the latest news and updates emailed straight to your inbox. By submitting your email you are agreeing to Fairfax Media's terms and conditions and privacy policy. The Israeli military said on Thursday that 2 rockets launched at Israel from the Gaza Strip fell short inside the Palestinian enclave. Sirens sounded in Israel at various locations around the northern Gaza Strip on a day of heightened tensions following demonstrations. Saeb Erekat, the Secretary General of the Palestine Liberation Organization and a steadfast advocate for a Palestinian state, said Trump and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel had destroyed the hope of a two-state solution. But rather than urging a new uprising, or intifada, Erekat embraced a radical shift in the PLO's goals, to a single state, but with Palestinians enjoying the same civil rights as Israelis, including the vote. "They've left us with no option," he said. "This is the reality we live here. Our struggle should focus on one thing, equal rights." The suggestion appears to signal the despair in the Palestinian community. However, Israel would be unlikely to accede to equal rights, because granting a vote to millions of Palestinians would eventually lead to the end of Israel as a Jewish state. On the ground, Palestinian factions called for a day of rage on Friday, and on Thursday, a wave of protest in the West Bank and Gaza brought clashes between Palestinians and Israeli troops. "We should call for and we should work on launching an intifada, Palestinian uprising, in the face of the Zionist enemy," Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh said in a speech in Gaza. Nasser al-Qaidwa, an aide to Western-backed Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas and senior official in his Fatah party, urged Palestinians to stage protests but said they should be peaceful. Israel considers Jerusalem its eternal and indivisible capital. Palestinians want the capital of an independent state of their own to be in the city's eastern sector, which Israel captured in the 1967 Middle East War and annexed in a move never recognized internationally. Netanyahu hailed Trump's move as a historic landmark. But the reversal of decades of U.S. policy has imperiled Middle East peace efforts and upset the Arab world and Western allies alike.